What is going on, everyone? This is Autumn RV coming at you from the cage with another Sword and Shield discussion video. Yesterday I tried to record a video on all of the new information that we got from Worlds, looking at the trailer and then going to look at the website, but my computer froze, so I had to spend time updating that, and couldn't get to the video last night just because I was so tired. So we're going to cover some of that information in this video, but there was also a video announced or released for Gamescom over on the UK channel, so we're going to take a look at that as well. Instead of looking at the trailer that was given out during Worlds about all the new competitive information that we got, we're just going to look at the website because I've already watched the trailer when it was live, so there's no react to it, and a lot of the information that was given in the trailer I'm assuming is going to be on the website, so we're just going to peruse the website for that information. Because we have this tweet from the Pokemon Twitter saying that there's a lot more to explore in the region of Galar and a lot more to learn about the Pokemon we already discovered. We'll be sharing some more facts about these new Pokemon over the next few days, so stay tuned. So I want to make sure that we can get up to date on all the information, so that when new information comes out I can make another video about it and try to keep you guys in the loop, give you my thoughts, ideas, reactions, things like that. I also don't have a whole lot of time to record this video. I'm recording it right now before I have to go to a volunteer shift, so I have about 27 minutes before I should really wrap it up. So we're going to try and make this quick, brief, but informative. And a shout out to Cerebee's Twitter account that did let us know about this new message from Shigeru Omori about the Gamescom video, and I'm sorry if I did not pronounce that correctly. So first we're going to take a quick look at the Pokemon website. We learned about abilities, battle items, and a bunch of other things. We're not going to watch this video just because we're just going to look at the website. So I'm going to move this over a little bit so that you can see everything well. So it says, catch Pokemon with hidden abilities through max raid battles. Some Pokemon have rare abilities known as hidden abilities, which are different to their usual abilities. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, it seems that Pokemon caught in max raid battles might have these hidden abilities. Plus, there's also a chance that you'll encounter a special Pokemon capable of Gigantamaxing in max raid battles. While extremely rare, by attempting many different battles, there's a chance you could even encounter a Pokemon that can Gigantamax and also has a hidden ability. So that makes me wonder if you can only get hidden ability Pokemon in max raids, or if you can still find them in the wild. I'm assuming you could still find them in the wild, because that would be weird if you could, like, not essentially get hidden ability Pokemon except in max raid battles, because then what's the point of catching Pokemon outside of max raid battles other than to fill your Pokedex in early game battling. So we did learn about Corviknight's new hidden ability called Mirror Armor, and what that does is it bounces back stat lowering effects that Pokemon receives. So from what I was speculating before, that it would bounce back things like Screech, Growl, and perhaps Intimidate. And that makes me wonder if in a double battle, oh, so there's more information here. Yeah, so it does mirror back Intimidate, a hidden ability Mirror Armor. A new ability introduced in these titles. This ability will bounce back any stat lowering effects from abilities or moves. So, abilities, moves, anything that's going to try and lower Corviknight's stats will get reflected back. So one of the things I was wondering, because they only show it in single battle, is that if you send in a Corviknight, right, so say your opponent has a Gyarados and a Tapu Fini on the field. You send in a Corviknight and, I don't know, a Flygon, any Pokemon. Would the Corviknight's Mirror Armor reflect back only like to the Gyarados. So if Gyarados intimidates on the field, right, it would normally intimidate both your Corviknight and your Flygon. So would Corviknight reflect it back and intimidate Gyarados only while Flygon still got intimidated? Or would it reflect it back for both Pokemon so that it would intimidate both Gyarados and the Tapu Fini next to it? So that's what I'm wondering about this. It also makes me wonder if, say you do Moonblast, right, and you have a chance to lower special attack. If the Corviknight gets hit with a Moonblast and gets the roll that the special attack is lowered, would that reflect back onto the opposing Pokemon so that their special attack is lowered instead? So that's kind of the information I'm wondering about that ability. I'm not sure if we're going to get any clarification until the game comes out. And it doesn't talk about Galarian Weezing's ability. I'm not sure if they're going to cover that here. Battle Stadium. Okay, so it does seem like the website is missing some information that we did learn about in the video. So I am actually going to pull up this video here. And mostly just skip to, let's see. So we have the new battle strategies segment, and here is where Galarian Weezing's ability Neutralizing Gas is shown off. So essentially what happens, I don't know why this is going so fast. Playback speed's normal, jeez. So what happens with Neutralizing Gas is that Galarian Weezing's ability will neutralize all abilities on the field, whether it's your own or your opponent's. So in the example that they give, they've got a Rotom Wash, and you can see the Rotom camera back here, fighting off against a Gastrodon and a Arcanine. So normally Gastrodon has Storm Drain, in which it would absorb a water base attack like Hydro Pump, and I think it raises special attack. I'm not 100% sure. But it essentially prevents damage from being done by water type moves against either Pokemon, either Gastrodon or Arcanine. It kind of is like Lightning Rod, where it just absorbs the water attack so that the Arcanine can't be targeted. But with Galarian Weezing on the field, that ability is neutralized, so it can easily attack the Arcanine and take it out with a Hydro Pump or other water type move. At the same time, your own ability on the ally side of the field will be negated as well. So Rotom usually has Levitate to make it immune to ground type moves, but because of Galarian Weezing's ability, the Rotom can then be attacked by a ground type move and knocked out. We also got some new held item information. So one new item is called Room Service, and what this does is that when Trick Room is set up, which essentially in Trick Room, your slower Pokemon move first and the faster Pokemon move last. If you're holding the item Room Service, whether you're an ally or I think if you set it yourself, it will lower your speed when Trick Room is set to make sure that you're the fastest mon, or closer to the fastest mon on the field, so that you can strike first. So in this example, Rhyperior was holding the Room Service item, got the speed drop, and was able to move before Snorlax to do a big amount of damage. Very thirsty today. We also have a new item called Eject Pack. And essentially what this does is that whenever a Pokemon's stats are lowered, they get removed from the field. They go back to the trainer. So in this example, we see Duraludon doing dropping a Draco or a Draco Meteor on Como-O, and that lowers, I believe, the special attack of the Pokemon. But if they're holding this Eject Pack, then they can switch out and the trainer can send out a new Pokemon. So that could be interesting, especially in the competitive scene, because that gives you a chance to drop this really big, like, high attack move that normally would detriment you, but you can switch out and get switch initiative on your opponent, so that you can send in another Pokemon that's going to be good against the team that you're fighting, or you can send in an Intimidate switcher, or Intimidate Mon to cycle Intimidates, then switch your mon that had the eject pack back in with completely fresh stats. But you don't have to waste a turn switching out first, then switching back in. You're already out. You give the Intimidate, then you can switch right back in the next turn if you want to. There's also a new move called Breaking Swipe, and what this does is essentially it's a double attack move, so it attacks both opponents on this field, both opponents' Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon on the field, and it will lower the attack stat of the targets that are hit. So not only is it like similar to some of the other dual attack moves like Dazzling Gleam, but you're also lowering the attack stat, which could be detrimental to some of these Pokemon that rely on their attack stat, which is why Intimidate cycling in VGC double competition is so popular. But instead of having to switch your Pokemon in and out, excuse me, and potentially lose that Pokemon to an attack, or not being able to do damage that turn because you're switching Pokemon in and out, you can just use this move and both do damage and lower the attacks as Intimidate would. Now, of course, if you switch in Corviknight on that, you might be able to reflect that stat lowering back, but then that brings in my question of, in that instance, would it reflect back everything for both Corviknight and the ally, or just Corviknight itself? And then if it's only Corviknight itself, would it only reflect on this Flygon, or would it reflect on the Obstagoon as well? So then we did already talk about Mirror Armor a little bit, so we're going to skip through that. So this information I think was in the website, so we'll go back to the website. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about the other items and abilities. Of course, like I said, I'd already made a lot of a video about this. It didn't save when the computer froze, and I only have a limited amount of time to record this video, so this might have to be mostly of what we touch on. But I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention about the abilities and things like that. It does make me wonder if neutralizing gas will affect abilities like Mimikyu's Disguise, making Mimikyu able to be knocked out in one hit, which could be really useful if your opponent has a Mimikyu, if it will neutralize abilities like Slacking's Truant, where it can only attack every other turn. Neutralizing that would allow it to attack every turn. Defeatus for Archeops, where essentially I think if the HP is below half, its attack stat is cut. And Regigigas's Slow Start, whether or not that will be neutralized by Galarian Wheezing, which, when you think about that aspect, it kind of makes sense that they're cutting some of the mons from the decks, possibly a lot of the legendaries, because like having a Regigigas in with neutralizing gas would just be completely broken for the competitive scene. But of course there's no telling whether or not that Regigigas was cut. We can only speculate. So I'm going to head back to the website right quick. Well, we already looked at that. So, we kind of learned about the G-Max moves already in one of the other trailers that revealed Gigantamaxing. In this case, it's talking about Dynamazing and Max moves. So the Dynamax phenomenon not only makes Pokemon huge, it can also give them a boost in power. Dynamaxing your Pokemon can sway the course of a battle. The Max moves that only Dynamax Pokemon can use aren't just powerful either, they also have impressive additional effects. So, the Water-type Max move, Max Geyser, will trigger rain weather when it's used. So not only will it do damage, but it will set rain, which will then make any water moves after that even more powerful. It will weaken Fire-type moves, it will make Hurricane and Thunder 100% accurate. The Fighting-type move, Max Knuckle, will increase the attack of all allied Pokemon as well as the user, which is useful because a lot of fighting type moves are on the physical side, so that will give everyone on your team a power boost when you use the move. Even if an opponent uses a move like Protect, a Max move will still blast through it and deal some damage. So similar to Z moves, If you protected on a Z move, you couldn't protect yourself fully and got hurt. Combination of Mega Evolution and Z moves. All status moves used by a Dynamax Pokemon become Max Guard, which can even protect against other Max moves. Okay, so that's interesting. So if you have the status move, I think like Toxic, or Swords Dance maybe. Excuse me. And it becomes Max Guard. So if you use Max Guard, it allows you to protect yourself even from these max moves, so it won't deal any damage. So if you use normal protect, it will deal damage. If you use Max Guard, it won't deal damage. Dynamaxing and held items. Okay, I was wondering about this too, if you needed to have a held item or not when Dynamaxing, like how with Mega Evolution you had to be holding a Mega Stone, or with Z moves you had to have a Z Crystal. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, you'll be able to Dynamax any Pokemon from the Galar region so long as you have the Dynamax band. There's no need to have this Pokemon hold a special item, so this is really important, because then you can combine a lot of these different effects and still Dynamax. You can set Trick Room while Dynamaxing, or before you Dynamax, have the Room Service item, lower your speed, Dynamax, and then just completely sweep 3 Mons if you're the fastest, and they don't have like Max Guard or something. This means that you can choose which one of your Pokemon to Dynamax depending on what's happening in battle, so you're not limited to just having only 1 Mega or 1 Z Crystal. You can Dynamax anyone on your team. So if you have a mixed team of 6 different Mons of different types and abilities, that'll be really helpful for kind of targeting what your opponent has and Dynamaxing what's good against it. You could even have your Pokemon hold items that boost their offense so they could unleash max moves that are even more powerful. Okay, so this is where it goes over the neutralizing gas. Okay, so once the Pokemon with neutralizing gas leaves the battlefield, the abilities of the other Pokemon will be activated again. So if you withdraw Weezing, Arcanine's Intimidate's gonna go off, Gastrodon's gonna get Storm Drain back, Rotom's gonna get Levitate back. But that makes me wonder, if you switch out Weezing, does the Intimidate start before your next Pokemon switches in? Or could you cycle Galarian Weezing and Corviknight against an Intimidate user, where Galarian Weezing will neutralize the Intimidate, you switch it out with Corviknight with the Mirror Armor, the Intimidate comes back, but then it intimidates the opponent's Pokemon instead of your Pokemon. That could be a really good strategy, perhaps a predictable strategy, but a pretty good strategy for VGC where you can cycle Intimidates without having to have an Intimidate user yourself, while protecting your own Pokemon from the Intimidate. And then here are the items that we already talked about. With Eject Pact, you'll immediately switch out. Very similar to Eject Button, where if your Pokemon who's holding the Eject Button takes damage, they switch out immediately, which can also be really useful if you want to bring in a Pokemon that can easily set up on your opponent, more in singles than in doubles, because there's not a whole lot of setup in doubles. There is some. I've seen some Sword Dances in the World's Play, but there's more setup in singles because then you can just sweep things. So you can use Eject Pack, hit something really hard with, say, Draco Meteor, switch out into a Mon that's, say, good against this Tyranitar, set up on it easily, and then just sweep the game. So that's all that's there. So there is a new bit of information called Pokemon Battle Stadium. Well, I guess it's just the Battle Stadium. I kind of added the Pokemon part. But this was added to the website but wasn't in the video that they released for Worlds. So essentially, in Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can connect to the internet and battle against trainers from all over the world in Battle Stadium. Features like rental teams and online competitions also allow for different ways to connect to other Pokemon trainers. So, if I understand rental teams, it's essentially you can rent a team of Pokemon to try out, so that way you don't have to go and make all of the Pokemon yourself. So that could be useful if you're trying to feel out what type of team is good for you without having to spend all of that time like breeding, doing IVs, EVs, things like that. But you do need a Nintendo Switch Online membership to use Battle Stadium. There's no need to set up a Global Link account. The Nintendo Switch Online membership is $20 a year, so much cheaper than like Xbox Live and the PlayStation service, I believe. So that's nice. So in ranked battles, you can take on Pokemon trainers from across the globe with a battle team you trained up, in an attempt to become the most powerful trainer in the world. As the name implies, you will have a rank in ranked battles that indicates how strong you are as a trainer. Your rank will change depending on the results of your battles. You'll face trainers of a similar rank so that your battles are sure to be challenging. So I like that they have different ranks, so that way you're not like starting to battle and then you end up with like this huge, like you're facing like a VGC player with like all perfect Pokemon. So they have different tiers and you'll earn points based on the results of your battles. Your rank will increase once you earn enough points. So this seems to be a Pokeball tier battle system similar to in Pokemon Go, where the different tiers will indicate which CP mons you can use, although in here I don't think that you can only be like, oh, here's like 6 Pokemon you can use for tier 1. I think it's whatever you want to bring and you just earn points, which is kind of similar to some of the Xbox online games where you play online. The more you play online, the more points you get and you level up your rank. I think they did that in Halo, in the Halo multiplayers, things like that. You can use Dynamax Pokemon in ranked battles. You can receive items by meeting certain criteria, such as battling multiple times in a row. So here you get a pearl string for battling. So I think that's really cool. It also adds an element of trying to collect items as opposed to just, I'm gonna battle because I like battling. And of course we can see on the screen that you can't use items in these ranked battles. It's only fight, Pokemon run, which is similar to like actual video game competition. So here's like the tier rank that they were mentioning. And here are the levels. So levels 1 to 3 is the beginner tier, 4 to 6 is the Pokeball tier, 7 to 9 is Great Ball, 10 is Ultra Ball, and then the max is the Master Ball tier. So each rank in ranked battles belongs to a specific tier. Excuse me. The top tier is where trainers will take part in intense ranked battles with everyone aiming to become the best in the world. So I wonder if that's like the world, like, do you play against trainers that are in different regions that have different language settings? Like, will you be playing against Japanese players, Chinese players, French players, things like that? You can check your own ranking in the battle stadium when you're competing in the highest ranks. And check out the smartphone version of Pokemon Home if you want to see how all participants of a competition placed or the rankings of the Pokemon used. So that's a really interesting tie-in into Pokemon Home. You can't see it because my face is in the way. I like that tie-in to Pokemon Home. In ranked battles, your rank will go down a certain amount at the end of each season before being carried over to a new season. So I wonder if they're going to have specific seasons for like VGC, singles, things like that, or if it's always going to be doubles. In this battle, it is a double battle with 2 Pokemon Dynamaxed on each side. So that'll be interesting to kind of look at. They have casual battles, so in casual battles, you can enjoy Pokemon battles without worrying about who wins and who loses. Another noteworthy aspect of casual battles is that you can use certain legendary Pokemon and mythical Pokemon that are not eligible for ranked battles, so there are going to be restrictions in ranked battles. You can't just use anything. There are legendary and mythical Pokemon that can't be in the ranked battles, but you can in casual play. So I like that there's 2 different battle formats, that way if you just want to get on and practice before going into ranked, so that you don't want to risk lowering your like level or points or whatever, you can just go into a casual battle, but it has a caveat of there might be restricted Pokemon that people can bring in casual. There are 2 formats for battles in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Players can take part in single battles or double battles. Okay, so that answers my earlier question. You can choose from these 2 battle formats for ranked and casual battles. Alright, so that answers my question. You can do singles and doubles in ranked. Online competitions. There are 2 categories for online competitions. Official competitions and friendly competitions. So official competitions, you take part in special battles with a variety of different rules and restrictions in order to see where you place among the participants. Certain Pokemon or certain competitions may even grant you the chance to participate in Pokemon World Champions if you do well. So that's really cool that they have different challenges. So here they show an international challenge that takes place from August 15th, 2019 to August 18th, 2019, which I think is supposed to mimic Worlds. The total time, 15 minutes, I think, for battles. They give you a time that you can battle between, it's apparently midnight and 11:59 p.m. And you can do 15 battles a day, and that's it. So if you don't do great one day, you get 15 shots and you're done. Aim to be the best in competitions with various regulations. So of course, regulated. Friendly competitions, you can join competitions hosted by other players, but you're also able to host a competition yourself. The host will decide the regulations used for friendly competitions. So here, friendly competition, single battle, normal rules, no competition period. You have 5 minutes. So they are bringing back the your time restriction, where you can't really stall someone out, because if your time has used up more than theirs by you trying to stall and reduce the match time, then they win, not you, from my understanding. In this instance, anyone can enter, and they can play a max number of 10 times, and if you host a competition, you can't cancel it. So you have to see it through to the end. That could be really cool for doing almost like a new form of draft league, where you can have Mons be drafted and hold a competition, host one, invite the specific people that can go in, and just have a whole lot of fun. So that makes me really excited to see what some of these awesome content creators and online battlers are going to come up with for taking advantage of these friendly competitions, which I realize you can't see that side of the screen. So here's the information about rental teams. Rental teams let you borrow battle teams easily by inputting IDs available online. You can use these rented battle teams in various battles. You'll also be able to make your own battle teams public to Pokemon trainers all over the world. So you can rent up to 5 teams at once. So here we've got Corviknight, Alcremie with Sweet Veil, Weezing, Dreadnought, Duraludon, and Obstagoon, and they're all different levels with different moves. And we do see Obstagoon's Obstruct move right here. And, excuse me. While they all are different levels, they are brought down to level 50 in this example. You can use the rental teams in ranked battles too, so that's useful if you want to get into ranked battles, but you haven't quite been able to make your own battle team yet with all of the specific IVs and EVs that you want. And here we can see some of the items. I can't quite make out all of them because I don't know all of the symbols, but we do see a Lefties, a Citrus Berry, Room Service, Eject Pack. I'm not sure. Oh, it has the description right underneath it. So the Obstagoon is holding a Life Orb, and the Weezing is holding Black Sludge. So that's cool that you can use Black Sludge as a Poison Fairy type, because Fairy you'd think would just be like, but the Poison type helps mitigate that. And you can, I like that you can make your battle teams public to trainers, so that way if they want to try out your team, they can. But it makes me wonder if they have teams, just standard teams, that the like Pokemon Company, game, whatever, provides, so that you can rent them out and it's not just relying on other trainers in the network. So that's kind of the information that we learned about from the release with Pokemon Worlds. So here's a video that I was mentioning about the Pokemon Treehouse that was released. Again, thank you to Sarah B for making this known to us who are not in the UK. So we are going to take a quick watch of that, a little bit of a react, a little bit of a discussion. I don't have too much time left because technically I should have been not recording a minute ago, but I really want to finish this video. Of course, I won't be able to get it up until later because of editing, uploading, things like that. But at least it's recorded, so you'll get it sometime today. So let's take a look at what they have to say.
こんにちは。ポケットモンスターソード
So I'm the director of Pokemon Sword and Shield. Shigeru Omori of Game Freak. We're putting everything into the... Oh god, he's talking so fast. I think they're putting everything they can into the game, and they're sorry that they couldn't... I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. That they couldn't visit Gamescom this year, but to all the Pokemon fans anticipating these new titles, we'd like to show some of the new scenes from a town in the Galar region. So we're gonna get to look at a new town. And this is where I'm going to put the playback speed back to normal, because then the music won't sound as good. So this is one of the towns you'll visit in Galar. Ooh, I love the music. This is the Pokemon Research Lab, so this must be like one of the first 1 or 2 towns. Here, Professor Magnolia researches the Dynamax phenomenon. And there's Leon behind her. There's also a railway station. So the flying service, Corviknight carries people between towns, but that's not the only way to get around Galar. So I think you can take the train station to also get around Galar. Stations are all over the region, used by all sorts of people, as transport for both commuting and traveling for pleasure. Oh, you can sit on a little bench, it's cute. The Pokemon centers in Galar look like this from the outside. They're different to those in other regions, but serious fans will recognize the design as a Pokemon Center right away. This is really pretty. There's also a store selling fresh produce and a clothes boutique, so customizing clothes confirmed. Boutiques can be found all around. Drop by and check out the latest fashion. I wonder if you can do your hair. I know I keep talking about this, but I really want to be a ginger again in these games. Please let me be a ginger again. So in Galar, people and Pokemon have worked together to build thriving industries. So it's actually cool because you can see he's wearing like a traditional Irish cap, and those tend to be made of wool. And he's with a Wooloo. Pokemon from towns live in harmony with humans. There are many areas of Galar where you'll find beautiful natural environments waiting for you to discover them. So what do you think of this look at Galar? Okay, so that seems to be it. So we're gonna go back real quick, just take a quick look. Alright, so let's do this, that. Wait, can you slow down? Okay, so, I don't know what that sign says. But, I don't know, I think this looks really pretty. We see another Wooloo. Some people just talking, trees. I like the look of the houses in this town. They seem very rustic. We do see Professor Magnolia with that little like bird cane she's got here, and Leon in the back. Not sure why Leon is there. Probably at the beginning of your journey, like, oh, here's your sponsorship. Pick out your Pokemon. Okay, so this is the rail station here, and we can see the train in the background. The Corviknight flight service. I think this is a different town because the building is different. So that probably means that you're limited in getting access to the flight system until a certain time in the game, which makes sense. Otherwise, you'd just be flying to every town to go battle instead of traveling through the region on foot or on train. So the stations are used all over, so we do see like some championship posters, I think advertising the league. You know, typical things. You got a little like, you can walk in, can't walk in areas for the entry to the subway or the train stations. Pokemon Center to the right, and then the different shops to the left. So considering it's selling fresh produce, I'm assuming it's berries, but I also think they're going to be selling things like the potatoes that we saw in the treehouse kind of showcase of the game, so that you can make food and other things for your Pokemon. I think in Pokemon Camp is the idea. of being able to do that. I am excited that you can change your outfit. I love changing the outfits of the trainers. There seem to be a lot of Wooloo in this town, so it's definitely an early game Pokemon, or at least they're advertising it to be. I really hope that you can change your hair too. I'll be really sad if you can't, just to be honest. But yeah, and just looking at, like, I love that you can see other parts of the region in the background. It's not just like, here's this town and that's all you can see. You can look out across the horizon and see there's another house down there down the hill, and like there's more hills back here and there's an area over there. I absolutely love that idea for this game, and I'm so excited to play it and explore it. Just so excited. And the way that the camera moves, there seemed to be like a little stream or just a darker patch of grass. But yeah, that seems to be all of the information that we've got from that. And of course, Pokemon said they should be releasing more information about Pokemon coming soon. So we will definitely keep our eye out for that. But in the meantime, we are going to end the video here. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you were able to learn a little bit more about what's going on in the Pokemon Sword and Shield universe, what's going to be coming up, and all that fun stuff. But in the meantime, this is Autumn Marie signing off.